Black girl magic to me is arriving as we are. It's arriving in all our talents and in our truest beauty and not being afraid to shine.
South African Zozibini Tunzi's 2019 Miss Universe win was historic. While she wasn't the first Miss South Africa to win the coveted crown, she was the first melanin-rich queen to don a natural cropped hairdo while securing the win, challenging conventional beauty standards that have long been the norm in the world of pageants. We had the opportunity to speak with Miss Tunzi. Here is our interview.
Welcome again, Zozibini. And so I wanted to know, what was life growing up in South Africa?
I had a beautiful childhood, just surrounded by my sisters and my parents. I have three sisters. My little sister, although came a little late, 2006, when I was 13 years old. But it was, such a beautiful way to grow up in a village, small town. I think that's where I learned really humility, togetherness, unity, because when you grow up in that kind of community, you're able to understand people better, their backgrounds, why they are the way that they are. And so because of that tight-knit community, and obviously growing up in South Africa, a very diverse country with 11 languages and just, so many ethnic groups, it was such a blessing to grow up in that space, because now going out into the world, I'm able to understand the world better, and I'm able to understand people better because of growing up in that, diversity and climate.
Right. Did you think you were beautiful when you were growing up?
Um, I think it would depend on the ages that I was, because I think, like many women, there's really a point in our lives where you don't feel beautiful, mostly because of, beauty standards and what people consider to be beautiful. You look at those images that people are calling beautiful, and they don't necessarily look like you or are not a representation of you. And so because of situations like that, sometimes you find yourself not feeling beautiful. But once again, I think growing up in the kind of family that I did, very loving, my mom and dad did a really, really fantastic job in assuring us that not only were we beautiful, but we were enough, we're intelligent, and we're capable of, achieving everything that we want to achieve. And so because of that, I had that belief inside myself. But then again, as soon as you leave the door, societal standards are thrown in your face again. And so it was a bit of, an up and down, but I'm happy and glad to know now that I am beautiful.
Tell me what it was like leading up to the actual coronation show.
My goodness, it was so much fun. I won't lie, because people are always like, how was the pressure? And I'm like, I was having fun, because that's what I told myself. I was like, you know what? We're going into this competition with 90 women from 90 countries who have already won in their respective countries. So these are like strong contenders, and whoever wins deserves to. And so my mentality going in was, I'm not going to go there with like just that competitive spirit in mind, but to go create memories and to have fun, because essentially there was going to be one winner. And so in my mind, I was like, if I don't win, at least I must say I had fun and enjoyed the experience. And so for me, leading up to the day of the competition, I was just having an incredible time, getting to know the women, creating friendships, learning about these cultures, because how many times in my life am I going to be sitting in one space with people from 90 different countries? So that for me, it was just fun to experience all these differences, to see what makes us different and what makes us the same.
So Steve Harvey says, Zozibini Tunzi. What goes through your head? What were the feelings? What were the emotions?
Man, I still can't even tell you what that moment felt like, because it is such an out-of-body experience as you stand there with the other woman hand in hand, waiting for your country to be called out. For me, I'd already done what I wanted to do. I made top 5. I answered the questions, and I went into top 3, where I could say my final statement and said what I felt like I wanted the world to hear. And for me, half of that was already accomplished. And so as I was standing there, I was like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I did all that I could, and there's nothing more that I can. And so whatever happens, it is well. And so, you know, when he said my country, I blacked out. Literally, I was just like, I don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
There's so many moving parts. You know, people are screaming. I'm getting sashed. I'm getting the crown on, and everything moves so quickly. Before I know that, I'm in, you know, press room doing media. So
Yeah.
it was very quick. It was very quick. You know, you don't really get time to actually realize what just happened.
Right. So as we know, representation matters. And from a Jamaican perspective, we were elated when you won. And of course, you know, even more so elated that you had your natural cropped hair. That was, yeah. It's cute on you, girl. But why do you think it's important for people like you to be out in the public and for little girls to see individuals like you?
Yeah, you know, because I truly believe that we can't be what we cannot see. And so when we see this image of ourselves and a possibility of who we can be, it becomes easier to dream and to want to do those things. And so it's difficult when you want to be Miss Universe, when you want to be in a beauty campaign, but there's no one who looks like you. So it's kind of like, is it even real? Is it even possible? And so that's why representation matters. It, truly, like, kids should see themselves, you know, when they look at their role models and know that things are possible for them. And so that's why it was so important for me to be here, and that's why I feel the win was so important. And even today, when people ask me what's the best thing you've ever done as Miss Universe, I tell them it was winning. That was the first one. It was actually winning, you know, with my cropped hair, my beautiful brown skin. That
Beautiful brown skin, yes.
that for me was like, you know, the top of it all. Everything else that I've done after, it's great, all of it, and I'm very proud of it. But I'll always say the moment that that crown was placed on my head on that night, for me, will forever be life-changing, not only for myself, but I believe for, you know, so many young girls and women.
Yeah. What's Black girl magic to you?
Oh, Black girl magic is, you know, it's always been there. It's within us. We're born with it. It's just so that sometimes it's not given a chance to shine because nobody wants to give us that platform. But Black girl magic to me is arriving as we are. It's arriving in all our talents and in our truest beauty and not being afraid to shine. Because sometimes that is a thing. We are afraid to shine because the world doesn't want us to shine. And so Black girl magic to me is choosing to wake up every day and arriving. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a Miss Universe. You don't have to be standing on a global stage to possess Black girl magic. You possess Black girl magic by, you know, entering your classroom and finishing that degree that you want to do, by entering that boardroom and those corporate spaces that they've always told you that you don't belong in. That for me is Black girl magic. It's that first belief in ourselves that we can. For me, that's Black girl magic.
What was it like reigning during COVID-19?
It was different.
Yeah.
Very, very different because I mean, for one, we all know a Miss Universe to travel the world and to be in all of these countries and doing the job on the ground and meeting actual people. And so for me, the difference is that we quickly had to adjust to what was going on and find ways to do the job. And what people might not necessarily know is that a Miss Universe's job is not really the travel, but it's the impact that she does when she does travel. It's her platform and it's her voice. You know, what does she do when she becomes Miss Universe? So in as much as I wasn't able to be in Jamaica or, you know, to be in whatever other country, doesn't mean the job wasn't done, because I quickly realized that I can still do my job because I have my platform and I have my voice.
Right.
Nobody has taken away my voice. Nobody has taken away my impact. It's just that I can't leave my apartment. So why don't we just open up my computer, connect to the internet and send the messages to the world? And what I found actually was that I was able to reach places that I probably wouldn't have been able to reach if I hadn't done, you know, all my reign online, because then I was able to be in so many places at once. You know, countries that I never would have been able to get to were able to reach me just by opening their phones and seeing the work that I'm doing. And so it was different and difficult, I won't lie, because nobody wants to be in the rain in the middle of a pandemic, but it worked out well. And I think that we and by we, I mean myself and the Miss Universe organization, did the best that we possibly could with what we were given.
Yeah. So you're from South Africa. South Africa has fantastic wines. Are you into wine?
I hear we do. I personally, I don't drink alcohol, but I know every time I meet people, they're like, "Oh my God, the wine in South Africa," and I'm like, "I believe you." I mean,
You don't know.
that's what everyone is saying, so I'll take your word for it.
Right.
But I personally, I don't know. It must be true, though. It must be true.
What do you like to do for fun?
Oh my goodness. I love going out, restaurant hopping, love food so much. And so for fun, that's literally what I'll do with my friends and with my sisters, try out different food and different restaurants. For me, fun sometimes is even snuggling at home and enjoying Netflix or just browsing through all these different channels where I can binge watch my favorite shows. I love going to the beach. So like one of my favorite things to do, to just go and hang out there all day. So that's, yeah, I don't really have like a broad fun things that I do, but for me it's as long as I'm with the people that I love, I'm always having fun.
What's next for you? I feel like we're going to hear more from you, Tunzi.
I'm so excited. There's so many different things coming. For one, I am in the process of completing my registration for my foundation. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. It's been so much work. I didn't realize how tough it would be starting one, but I'm excited to do that. I'm still continuing my work with UN Women. So that's a part of my humanitarian work that I'm doing, because I always like to divide the things that I do with my time. So I really want to continue doing humanitarian work because I'm a humanitarian at heart. Working on TV. I'm going to be on television as well, which is very, very exciting for me. And then there's music as well. So it's like, there's just so many things happening in my life that are coming together, but I'm very grateful for it. I never complain. I just am grateful for all that I'm able to do.